Grace and peace to you, St. Mark's. 2 weeks ago, when we first encountered the story of the road to Emmaus, we focused on the first part of it. This resurrection story begins in grief, and we talked about the grief of this past year. And we talked about how Jesus meets us in all the grief and all the grace. How Jesus meets us wherever we are on the journey of our lives. But if the first part of this story was about where we've been, today we shift gears. Today we talk about who we are now. How has this journey reshaped us? Who are we now? Who are we post-pandemic? Who are we after the flood? Who are we after the fire? Who are we after the empty tomb? The disciples on the road to Emmaus are about to find out. They are walking along that road with this stranger they have just met. They have been talking for a while. And now the sun is beginning to set in the west. Pink and orange streaking across the sky. It is the twilight of the day. Evening has come. The village where they are headed, Emmaus, comes into view. They see the place where they will stay the night. This chapter of the journey nears its end. The stranger they have been walking with, he makes as if he is going on, as if he has some other destination. You see, over the course of their journey, over the course of their conversations with Jesus and with one another along the way, something has shifted. They have begun to remember who they are. They have begun to understand not who they were, but who they are called to be in this new world. And they need to say it. They need to say it out loud. More importantly, they need to live it out. Stay with us, they say. It is almost evening. The day is almost over. And we don't know how much time we have left. So stay. Stay with us. Come, let's sit down at the table together. Let's eat. The stranger smiles, a gentle smile, and he nods, and he follows them in. And they sit at the table together. And they talk and they laugh together and they eat and they drink together. Imagine those best meals you have had with family, those best meals you have had with friends when the stories are flowing and the laughter is flowing. The wine, dare I say it, is flowing. And there is plenty of food for everyone to have their fill. That's the moment they're in. And there, in that moment, the stranger picks up a piece of bread and he says, this, all of this, right now, here, now, this. And he holds up that bread again. He says, this is my body. And he offers it to them. And their eyes open wide, because for a moment they get it. It's the kingdom of God and Jesus himself right there with them. And then the moment passes and he's gone. And for a moment they just sit there in stunned silence. And then they can't stop talking. Did he just, it was, he did. And they feel it. Something has been kindled inside of them. It's like their heart is on fire. It's like they have come alive again. And then they know what they have to do next. And then they get up and they leave as fast as they came, excited, resurrected. At the beginning of the story, they were just trudging along, just putting one foot in front of the other. It was all they could do. But then God comes along in the form of a stranger, and they walk with the stranger and welcome the stranger and break bread with the stranger. And along the way, in that walk, in that welcome, in that breaking bread together, the stranger becomes a friend, and they rediscover their sacred fire, the real life that burns within each of them. So, today, St. Mark's, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to articulate our sacred fire. To articulate our why as a community. What is our sacred fire that drives everything we do? What is our why as a community that will drive everything we will do next? Today, in your breakout rooms, I want you to write a post-pandemic mission statement for our church. And to give it focus, I want you to use the imagery of the story of the road to Emmaus. You can use any image from any part of the story. Don't use all of them, because it's got to be short and simple and clear enough that Sierra and Maya can remember it. Just pick one image from this story that you think best expresses our mission post-pandemic and write it into a mission statement. What's our why? What's our purpose? I'm going to give you 3 minutes on your own, and then we'll go into breakout rooms to workshop together, and then we'll come back and share in the big group what we came up with. We'll see you in a few.